All right, let's just jump right in. We're going to go from knowing nothing about code to writing your very own Python program. Seriously, no experience needed, and we'll knock this out in the next 5 minutes with just a few super simple ideas. And this quote, it just nails why we're starting with Python. A lot of coding languages, they can feel like you're fighting against them, Like you're wrestling with all these weird, confusing rules. But Python's different. It's on your side. It wants you to focus on your cool ideas, not get bogged down in syntax. So you might be asking, why Python? With all the languages out there, what makes this one the perfect starting point? Well, let's get into what makes it so special. Have you ever looked at a bunch of code and just felt overwhelmed? Like your brain just goes, nope, and shuts down? Yeah, you are definitely not alone. That intimidation factor is a huge wall for so many people, and that's the exact wall Python was built to tear down.
What's so cool about Python is it's kind of got this split personality in the best way possible. On one side, it's super friendly. The language almost reads like plain English. But on the other side, it's an absolute powerhouse. I mean, huge companies are built on this stuff. And you get all that power without the headache of a massive learning curve.
Okay, enough theory. Let's actually start doing stuff. It's time to get our hands on the tools. We're just going to look at 3, let's call them building blocks, that we need for our first program. That's it. Just 3 things for today. First up, we have the print command. The easiest way to think about this, it's your program's voice. It's how you make the computer talk. You're literally telling it, hey, put this text on the screen. And that classic hello world example, that's like the official first word for basically every coder ever. Okay, next up, variables. And the container analogy is just perfect for these. Imagine you have a box. You stick a label on it. In this case, the label is character name, and then you put something inside, like the name George. That's all a variable is. It's just a labeled box for your data. And trust me, this is going to make your code way more flexible. And our third and final tool for today is the input command. This one is really cool because it's how we make our programs interactive. It basically hits the pause button and asks the person using the program to type something. This is how we get information from the outside world into our code. So let's recap. We've got a voice, right? That's print. We've got our containers, which are variables. And we have a way to listen, input. What can we actually build with just those 3 things? Well, let's put them all together and make a classic Mad Libs game. It's going to be fun. Here's our game plan. Super simple, just 4 steps. First, we're going to use input to ask for some words. Then, we'll take each answer and pop it into its own little variable container. After that, we'll mash those words into a funny story. And finally, we'll use print to show the final result on the screen. See? It's that easy. And this is what it actually looks like in Python. See? We're making 3 of those containers, those variables. One called color, one called plural noun, and one called celebrity. And for each one, we're using that input function to ask a question. Whatever the user types in gets stored right inside its container.
Okay, so the setup is done. Our program has done its job. It's asked the questions. It's saved the answers. Now for the really fun part. Let's see what happens when we put it all together.
So let's just pretend for a second that our user gave us these awesome answers. They typed in magenta for the color, microwaves for the noun, and of course, Tom Hanks for the celebrity. Now all our little variable containers are full. We have our ingredients ready to go. And here it is, the big reveal. Our program takes those words and prints this out. Roses are magenta, microwaves are blue, I love Tom Hanks. It actually works. You see how it just plugged those variables right into the story? That's the magic right there. We took input from a person and created something totally new and, yeah, a little bit weird. And believe it or not, you just did it. You completed the entire loop of what programming is all about. You got input from a person, you stored it in those variable containers, you did something with it, in our case, put it in a story, and then you created a new output. That whole cycle, that's the heart of coding, right there. So what's next? I mean, a Mad Libs game is awesome, but it's really just the very first step on a super exciting journey. And things get bigger and better really fast. Soon, you can start storing whole collections of things with something called lists. You can teach your program how to make decisions for itself using if statements. You could even build a real working calculator with these same basic ideas. It's amazing. Look, the big takeaway here isn't this silly game we made. It's the fact that you now have the tools. You know how to make a computer listen to you, remember things, and talk back. You have the power to create. So the only real question is, what are you going to build next?